All right, guys, so this is the 2024 BMW 1250 GS Adventure. This is the Trophy Edition, and it is my favorite motorcycle, which is crazy because I own some cool motorcycles, but this is my favorite. Now, this KTM, surgical, very specific. I love it, but it has a mission. The mission is off-road riding. The mission is BDRs. This is my favorite all-around motorcycle because this can be a tourer, you know, you're just going on a road trip. This could be a BDR bike. I mean, this could be really anything you want. It's a really cool bike for adventures cross-country and for me, going to Alaska. I'm planning a trip with this very specific bike to go to Alaska. Now, aftermarket-wise, I did need a few things because of my height. The windscreen wasn't tall enough, so I wasn't getting the protection I wanted. I was getting hit in the face with the wind. So I did a Puig windscreen that's slightly taller. I believe it's almost 4 inches taller. I do have a lone rider protection thingamabob for the headlight that I've yet to install. The cool thing about a GS Adventure and this 2024 1250, the 1250 period, is that this is the last year, I think 10 years in, that they made it, 2024, before they went to the 1300. And I owned the 1300. I owned the 1300 and a 719 option. The really rad thing about this particular bike is it's all shaken out. All the elements of this bike that were wrong, they got right, and so it doesn't have a lot of bugs. Really reliable, really huge aftermarket world, and it works out of the box. Let me give you an example. The 1300 was really sporty, really cool, but if you wanted to run this from BMW, they didn't have it because the top box was adapted to this proprietary platform that had a plug that basically hooks into the box that allows you to lock it and use the lights or electrical adaptation. So you can use your key and like a key fob, lock it. But when I bought my 1300, they said, hey, these top boxes are coming, and then they never came. And then I think recently I talked to my BMW dealership, Eurosports, here in Utah, which I love. Those guys are great. And they told me I think the box was like a couple grand, which is crazy. I mean, this version of it is aluminum, really lightweight, and just mounts directly on top of the bars that are already attached because it's standard with the, GSA with the GS Adventure model. So you didn't have to wait for it. You can get it immediately because it exists. Even with the panniers, for my 1300, I had to get special panniers. The first set didn't fit because they were having fitment issues because it's such a new bike. But this particular one, it's mounted. It's tried and true. And check this out. I got a little mess here. These, which are the Moscow Moto backcountry enduro set, directly mount to the panniers on this bike. So you don't have to worry about having to beg and borrow or wait. And I'm on the international pages for the GS Adventures 1250 and 1300. There's a lot of guys making complaints about the 1300 because certain things they can't get done. They can't get aftermarket parts. They can't get OEM parts from BMW. They're having issues with like check engine lights that aren't being addressed because they're waiting for the parts. A nightmare of logistics around the 1300, but the 1250, it's already done. Like anything you want for this bike, you can get it done because it's already existed for years. This particular GS Adventure already comes with the crash bars, both bottom, covering and protecting and shrouding the engine, as well as the upper crash bars with fog lights mounted, which I'm not a big fan of these, but they'll work for now. Plastic, really janky bar protectors. I want to get probably Tusk or something more aftermarket that has either an aluminum or metal bar that protects this because this is all plastic. It comes with a really comfortable seat. I think the 1250 seat compared to the 1300 seat is a lot better. This seat's super comfortable. I've done 6, 7, 8 hour rides, no problem. On the 1300, it's got a little bit more of a steeper angle, which makes me slide forward. And because of my height at 6'1", it's not the most comfortable angle on the 1300. I feel like the 1250 riding seat angles are more comfortable, and this seat's pretty cozy. I mean, some people complain about these seats, but this one compared to the 1300, I'm a big fan. A lot of this has to do with the adjustability of high versus low, and then the material. Again, remember the 1300 was a redesign. So I had the 719 option. One of the things that I couldn't stand about my 719 option is the adaptive ride height or adaptive height control. And the reason I didn't like it is because I hated the constant up and down. This bike is a trophy, so it's got the set position. It's pretty high. The inseam is probably 34 inches, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's high. But if you're a taller guy, you don't really need the ride height adjustability. And so that annoyed me on the 719 because it was constant, like getting on, getting off, you know, the back going up, the front going up. I guess you could turn it off. I'm not sure if you could, but it was something I didn't like about the 719. The one thing that I hated about the 1300 was the noise that came from here. And a lot of people said it's just the engine, the new redesign, but a lot of people have said the 1250 has that same noise. I've owned both the 1300 and the 1250. You guys tell me if you've owned 1300s and 1250s, but the 1250 noise coming out of here is not as bad as the 1300. And maybe I had a bad 1300, but my 1300 at low speed idle was just a massive clunking noise where even with my helmet on with a podcast, I could hear. This, not a problem. I got some aftermarket stuff like this Lone Rider thing that allows me to keep my registration, my keys, my charging port because it already has this built into it. The 1300 has in here the charging port, which just makes it a little bit more clunky because the cell phone barely fits in here. And I don't know, I just didn't like it. I like putting the cell phone in here, running the charger into this, and that's fine for me. I went to the Carpy Ride 7-inch, thanks to Big Rock Moto for his review. Used his coupon code too, check out his channel. The 7-inch display is what I wanted to emulate the phone. This is not a standalone navigation device, but 90% of the places I'm going right now on this bike, I have reception. And if you have to, you could use offline maps or downloaded whatever, you know, like if you're using Apple CarPlay and you're using Spotify, you could still listen to podcast. And it's emulated on here, whether it's Samsung with Android or Apple, it's emulated on here. And the coolest thing is you could do all the adjustments and control here. So beautiful bike, beautiful color scheme. Came with Karoo 3s, which all my 1300, it came with street tires essentially. So I had to put aftermarket Karoo 4s, which cost me a lot. Out of the box, the 2024 Trophy GS Adventure period is going to be a better value out of the box. I mean, you could get this turnkey and not have to worry about a lot, whereby a 1300 will be bare bones and you wouldn't even have the crash bars. I mean, my 719 option didn't have this or this, so I had to get this from Touratech. That's a few $100s. It might have been more than that. Didn't have panniers, so I had to put that on. Didn't have a top case, which, I mean, this doesn't come with a top case, but at least you can mount it. Out of the box, this, I think, is the right bike to get, and there's plenty in inventory. You tell me what you guys think. The 1300 is definitely a lot more sporty. The quick shifter on the 1250 is inferior to the 1300, in my opinion, just based off riding it. And this doesn't feel as sporty as my 1300. I'll tell you what helped a little bit, which feels, maybe it's a placebo effect, because you don't see a lot of horsepower gain out of slip-ons. But the Aero exhaust, this is a titanium slip-on. One, I save weight. Two, it's reduced in size, and I love Aero exhaust. And to end the video, I'll start this and let you hear the exhaust, the new exhaust. So it's going to quiet down here in a second. It always starts out high idle. All right, guys, tell me what you think about the 1250 in the comments below. Appreciate you guys.